Having a creative job as an introvert can be quite demanding, especially if you're taking photographs of people is your passion. As introverts, we often find the most contentment when we're alone, with our families, or among close friends. Large gatherings and unfamiliar faces are usually something we steer clear of. Speaking up in a crowd is often our last resort. Sadly, not putting ourselves out there can hinder our progress towards some of our goals in photography. But when we do venture out, we can quickly become exhausted or overwhelmed by social interactions. However, it's entirely feasible for introverts to excel in social settings and even manage a thriving photography business that focuses on people. In this video, I'll talk about both the advantages and hurdles of being an introverted photographer so you can adapt and thrive while building up your business. As an introvert, you're probably prone to be on yourself or with family outside of school or work. You like to avoid crowds and would prefer to get together with close friends, and you're not that great with small talk. Deeper conversations, on the other hand, that's more like it. If that sounds like you, well, join the club. Of course, none of this is problematic on its own. Yet, as a photographer, you might not feel as driven as you'd prefer when it comes to photographing people. Whether you are an amateur or a professional, keeping to yourself instead of mingling with others can mean you could be missing out on valuable learning experiences from other photographers or potential collaborations on projects. Building a successful photography business will be challenging without forging connections with families, other photographers, and fellow entrepreneurs. One risk of not getting out there is spending excessive time on social media. This can lead to the illusion of how amazing other people's lives are. You see everyone else's exciting lives and feel that yours is dull with nothing worth sharing. It may seem like everyone else's photography business is thriving with fully booked mini sessions, summers packed with weddings, and overall great success compared to you. But remember, social media often paints a very different picture from the reality of other people's lives. If you enjoy taking pictures of people, you'll need to work on pushing yourself to get out there more. With a bit of practice, you'll develop the habit of spending more time with others. Don't miss out on opportunities. Strengthen those social muscles by joining a camera club or a local Facebook group for photographers. You can start today and aim to find a group of photographers in your area to engage with. Once you have joined the group, especially if it's a large one, seek out one photographer to connect with. Perhaps another introvert. Start a project together. You might even assist each other on projects you've been eager to tackle. If you're highly introverted, you can observe what the extroverts are doing and you can mimic them. Notice how easily they converse with new people and how naturally the dialogue flows. Begin to emulate their behavior. Also prepare some leading questions for when you meet new people. Before I continue, I noticed that 98% of those who are watching aren't subscribed to the channel. So if you could do me a huge favor, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much. Getting out and mingling with people will transform you as an introvert photographer. You'll start those portrait photography projects, connect with interesting photographers, and maybe even make a great new friend. However, after all this increased social interaction, you might find yourself feeling a bit worn out. I kind of forced myself to network and connect with people as I started my own business. My drive was to make this thing happen, and it was way bigger than my fear of being in public places. And sometimes I just pretend to be an extrovert, which helps. After that, I do have to recharge at home. It's similar to resting from intense workouts at the gym. Give your muscles a rest and you'll be ready to go again in the morning. For me, this is the only way it works. Resting doesn't necessarily mean sleeping, and as an introvert, it means spending time on your own. You can spend this time reading, writing, editing photos, or enjoying a movie. It's just a rest from social interaction. Look for signs of being socially tired or exhausted. When your social battery is drained, just take a break. It could be a couple of hours or a couple of days, but as soon as you're ready, you'll get back out there. If you run a photography business or any creative business for that matter, then you should take part of the week to rest from social interaction too. You could spend that part of the week editing your photos or videos. That way, you're still working on projects that need to get finished, but you're resting at the same time. I would suggest you'd find a good balance in being in public and being alone. For me, it took years before I figured this out, and I still struggle with this to this day. Hopefully by now you can see how to overcome the challenges of being an introvert. But don't be fooled, there are advantages to being an introvert as well, so let's take a look at your strengths. Because you do so well on your own, you're especially suited for the more patient types of photography, like landscape and nature photography. You can pursue these projects on your own and share them later with the group or on social media. Street photography is ideal for you as well. You don't necessarily have to interact with people on the streets, although you may take a risk of being asked why you are taking pictures in the first place. Candid photography is perfect for capturing street or travel scenes. You can stand back and enjoy watching people while pursuing a candid or photojournalistic style. Since you know you can work well on your own, you can spend a lot of time studying photography in books and online. Taking lots of time to learn, think and reflect will allow you to go much deeper with photography. Just remember that the better you get, the more word will travel about you. Running a photography business takes a lot of lonely work behind the scenes, like learning, planning, editing, and since you're perfectly happy to work on your own, there will be fewer distractions while getting work done. Extroverted people, on the other hand, really struggle to spend long hours on their own, but this is where you excel. As you engage with more groups of people and put effort into communicating your ideas, whether it's in person or on your website, your ability to articulate yourself will improve. If I compare myself to 5 years ago, my communication has improved massively. I tend to understand that some clients really don't know what they want, and that's where you get to take control what works and what doesn't while shooting content. Same goes for this YouTube channel. At first I stumbled a lot over my own words, but as I was keeping up the practice, I became more confident in front of the lens. Remember to observe how extroverts interact. By imitating their behavior, you can enhance your social skills. As an introvert, you're very likely adept in one-on-one interactions. This is great news because many other introverts feel the same way and may be drawn to you as a portrait photographer, for example. If you can express more how you feel with someone you can trust, it can create a deeper relation compared to people who are just doing small talk all the time. If you think you have a problem being an introvert, then think again. I think this is my personal superpower if used correctly, but sometimes I'm envious to those extroverted people at parties, talking to everyone like it's the easiest thing ever. You can be really successful in your field if you just accept who you are and thrive in your creative endeavors. It's no surprise that people like Albert Einstein, J.K. Rowling, Michael Jordan, Steve Jobs, Chopin, Meryl Streep were introverts. They had the focus to keep going at what they wanted and succeeded massively. Even Barack Obama was on that list. A man that spoke to so many people was indeed like one of us, an introvert. From my own experience, I discovered that I was an introvert around 5 years ago when I began to understand why I always felt tired after talking all day, or having the feeling that I rather wanted to stay home in the weekends instead of going out with friends. I believe it has helped me massively to have the drive to learn video editing, music production and photography. These are things that take a lot of time, concentration, and being alone in your room, which are all the things I just love to do. So please let me know in the comments down below if you are an introvert or an extrovert and how did it help you in your career. I'm very curious to what you have to say. Thank you so much for watching and we'll see each other in the next one. Bye bye.